You make me weak. You're the one I see, and I hate that I love you. I hate that I love you. If I could, and I would, carve out your heart, carve out your heart. It's hard to keep smiling when you're closing every door. I'm trying to open. I tell you love you more, and you say it's broken. But it wouldn't mean mine.
Turn around, I feel the breeze over me. You watch your dreams unfold. Let it come around and let it breathe over me. It's time to go away into the light. I feel the calming energy. I see the darkness coming, and I'm calling you to help me set me free. I'm calling for you. I'm calling for the unknown, the unknown. It's time to go away into the light. I feel the calming energy. I see the darkness coming.
that you never started. You once destroyed a broken heart that was already shattered. Holding on to what we have, you take us to the edge and back. Holding on to what we have, you take us to the edge and back. This love that you never started. You once destroyed a broken heart that was already shattered. Holding on to what we have, you take us to the edge and back. Holding on to what we have, you take us to the edge and back.
Hello and welcome everybody. So sorry for that wait in between, and we are gonna get ready underway very soon with game number 2. Just hang on tight, we're gonna be right with you in a minute. Alright guys, we are truly back now and ready, and joining me for this cast is Sky. Just now you had Monkeyfist and JP, but it's now time for Sky and myself. How are you doing, Sky?
I'm doing alright, mate. It should be interesting to jump back into the world of casting. It's been a minute. Obviously we've got the SEA Pro League, we've got Dad 1 versus Generic. It should be an interesting.
Yeah, definitely we're going to be quite close. Both these teams kind of evenly matched, I would say, but Dad 1 unfortunately conceding a forfeit victory in the first matchup. That was against Ferox Esports, so they lost a potential 6 points. Ferox Esports would have been counting their lucky stars, getting those free 6 points without having to play, show off the strategies, or do pretty much anything.
Yeah, it should be interesting for sure. I'm not exactly sure what the first map is in Film. What's it?
The first map, my friends, it is going to be Border. So very interested to see Border out. Not often played in Southeast Asia. It just doesn't seem to be in the meta, and that's a bit surprising, don't you think, Sky? Because, you know, I would expect Border to be such a popular map all across, not just in other regions in Southeast Asia as well.
Yeah, Border is a pretty renowned map. A lot of regions play it, and look, it's one of those staple maps that's been in the game for a decent amount of time. I think it was released in the second season ever of Siege. So yeah, it's had a fair amount of play time, plenty of time out for teams to really develop those strategies and really fill the map out.
Yeah, indeed. So what's happening right now is we'll be first going to Border, as we mentioned, and then the second map. That is also very interesting, I believe. Let me just have a look. If I'm not wrong, the map should be Clubhouse. Let me just have a look again. No, it's Consulate. Right, so we just saw Consulate between Ferox Esports and Script just now. Spoiler alert, we had Script lose the second map. They won the first map 7-5 and they lost the second map 7-4. So 3 points apiece for those teams. So it's going to be very interesting to see how Generic and Dat1 approach Consulate. And Generic, as far as I know, are pretty solid on Consulate. So Dat1 having a bit of a roster change as well. Sunset coming in instead of, I think, Daddy. D4DE his tag was, and Edith also coming into the roster. So this is going to be the first match we're going to see of Team Dat1 with this new look lineup and their first match in Season 9. So a bit hard to predict what's going to happen against Generic Esports. Generic, of course, coming up from the Challenger League.
Yeah, it should be a very interesting one. Hopefully getting underway now. We're heading into the map border, as Infian rightly said, is the first map. And let's get right into the best.
Indeed. So it's going to be very interesting. I am excited to see what the bans. So Generic tends to go with the meta ban. So entirely possible we might see like a Dokebi ban. No, it's a Thermite ban. Yeah, that's fair enough as well. Thermite, especially on the second floor, can be a really big problem for the defenders, opening up like the west wall, the archive wall, and that's a smart ban. Ying gonna be banned. So Southeast Asia in general just not liking to play against the Ying. Very commonly banned in the past few days.
Yeah, Ying is a threat for sure. A lot of teams really don't like to deal with that. And
Yeah,
as you said, SEA seeming to be one of those more preferred regions that really doesn't like dealing with Ying. Mirror is going to be the second or third ban, and first offensive ban. Vigil going to be the final ban, and that's interesting there. You don't see Vigil ban too often.
Yeah, as a person, as an operator who can really affect the rounds, Vigil's impact is very hard to be measured, and a lot of people don't really ban him because at the end of the day, he is just a very effective roamer. And the thing about it is, you don't always have to hunt down roamers, or even if you are hunting down, it's not that impossible to defeat Vigil and his ERC scanner when he vanishes off drones. But at the same time, you know, the funny thing is, Vigil is very strong. We saw really the strength of Vigil really at the Invitational in 2018 when Pengu played Vigil quite a fair bit against Evil Geniuses in the grand final. And that was really when you saw the power of Vigil. It had been a while since he came out, so it was good to see that teams were realizing his potential.
Indeed, we're going to see Workshop being the first defended site here for Genetic. Is that how you pronounce it?
Generic.
Generic. So yeah, that's probably a little bit out of the ordinary. Obviously, Archive generally being that second defended bomb site, but going to it first, you know, isn't horrible. That's for sure. Could certainly throw off the attackers, and that could be a big help. We've got Castle in play, also quite common for this site. Got Smoke and Alibi as well, which is, you know, you're starting to see a lot more of Alibi. That's for sure.
Yeah, indeed. You know, initially she was just like a cheese pick, like stacking 3 on the server stairs of Bank, for example, and you just stack them all up, hope you obscure the vision and even get a few pings here and there. But people are really trying to bring the best out of Alibi, trying to place it in places where you can get the pings and capitalize on those pings, for example, not just simply obscure the visuals. But this Buck from Sino, he's going to be a very powerful figure, and it's very interesting. You don't usually see people bucking the east stairs right there, looking down for rumors, but the call obviously came out, so that's what he was doing right there.
Bachelor going for the run out here. Not going to be able to spot anyone out there, but it was certainly a worthy attempt, doing it for a second time. Oh, he just misses the shots, unfortunately. But really asserting dominance here and just taking that little bit of damage onto IQ.
Yeah, indeed. And Edith He takes damage, but Sunset has already pushed in, and he gets a free kill onto Bachelor. That's the alibi off the board, and Edith takes a lot more damage, and he's not sure where it came from. Is it from the outside? Do we have another run out? Doesn't seem so. Just seems to have taken a lot of damage, but Sino takes down PTK, and that's a smoke off the board. A very, very important kill for the attackers. That late game plant denial is pretty much off the board. Good drone work coming out from L3. Grenade's going to fold it up, but Huffy the Legion, another important figure in this defense, he's going to trade it right back. That's the Ash off the board. Edith's very low on HP as well.
So the roam not going exactly to plan there for the defenders. Could have gone better, that's for sure. Huffy debating a run out. Sino will take down the G-back zone. It's now just Legion and Castle here. Make that just Castle as Edith will take down Huffy. This is going to be an almost impossible here, and L3K is going to end it off there. Round number 1 going to Dad 1 and really proving their dominance here. Don't think they lost a single member.
Yeah, that was excellent from Team Dad 1. And, you know, if they're looking from this one round, they're looking pretty good. And if they can continue this, they are probably going to be regretting the fact that they were unable to play their first game, because they would probably have been able to take, you know, a point or maybe 6 off their opponent's Ferox Esports. But what's done is done. That's in the past. Generic, though, obviously not to be underestimated. These guys are new. They take a bit of time to warm up. But the important thing is when they get going, they have great gunplay. And when they can back it up with those strategies and those unorthodox plays, it can become a very, very strong combination. Curiously, they're going to start to try and defend Workshop yet again rather than going upstairs.
Yeah, that's really interesting to see. As you know, you sort of I would assume they pick it that first time to try and throw them off a little bit, but you know, maybe get them with the wrong operators. But they seem to be going with a pretty similar operator lineup here, if not the same. And so they've already proven that they can tackle this site with, you know, overwhelming dominance. And for Generic here to go back to it, it's an interesting choice, that's for sure.
Yeah, and well, that's a very old skin, the Valentine skin from 2017, making an appearance on PT King's shotgun. But he's going to be playing pretty much the same position where he was the last time. So the issue was that Bachelor got taken out very easily. They lost the archive section, and then when it came to the rest of the second floor, they simply couldn't hold it, and that was an easy clear. And when you have a Buck in play, which they don't right now, but they still have a Zofia and an Ash, that can be a very potent combination. I'm not sure if the IQ has brought breach charges. Even, you see, the Zofia has brought the breach charges, so that's a lot of self-destruction. And I like this fact that Dat 1 consistently goes into east stairs and then opens up right below the door. They don't want to be surprised by any roamer, you know, lurking around at the bottom of east stairs or trying to flank them. The moment they see the hole, they're gonna think twice.
Henry here, opening up into archives, or tellers. Again, you know, they're taking this slowly here, Dad 1. They're droning out, they're not taking anything for granted, and it does seem to be an east side push. They've got Sunset over on the western side, just watching through that front door, trying to just cut rotates off. But apart from that, you can see the Soul Hard Breacher here, Henry, is pushing from this eastern side. Going to be using one on the castle barricade as well. Maybe a little bit of a questionable decision when you've got both Sophia and Ash on your team, but it's going to happen anyway.
Yeah, that's fair enough. I mean, they probably feel that using the soft destruction is more important upstairs. Hibana is useful here, but, you know, when you have upstairs control, not always necessary. And, oh, we have Edith taking down Jibausi. PT King trades back, but Sino instant refrag keeps the man advantage in the favor of the attackers right here. L3 taking a bit of damage as well, but not too much. Nothing that's really going to trouble him. 50 HP for a Dokebi is still decent enough. It's 1 minute left in the round, and once again, the smoke is off the board.
Exactly. That, you know, that long-term denial operator out of play now, and you don't really have anything to deny that plant. Maybe goo mines, if you get lucky and they step on them, but apart from that, you could possibly use the impacts of Castle or Alibi, but again, that's a little bit risky, so it's not looking great here for Generic. They've got 3 members up, however, and the time is low for Dad 1, so possibly a glimmer of hope, but it's unlikely. A glimpse of it.
Well, Defty has been taken down as well. That's the castle off the board. Legion always seems to stay alive, which is good. And oh, he's not going to be able to hit the shots. All of his bullets going to hit the railing. His aim not good enough. Sino's going to clean him up. And that is Team Dat1 taking the second round. Yet again, surely they have to switch bomb sites now.
You'd have to hope so, wouldn't you? And yes, it does look to be the case. Armory Lockers Archives is much more standard bomb site here. Not to say that Workshop isn't standard, but certainly for first pick, yeah, you know, it's quite common to see Armory Lockers Archives. So it's good to see that they're going here. It's again unfortunate for them that Workshop didn't work out quite like they wanted it to, but it's fresh beginnings, fresh starts here for them on Lockers.
Yeah, indeed. Armory Lockers Archives probably going to work out much better. They're bringing a Maestro and a Mute as well. So that's going to be very important. They're going to get information from the Maestro, and that Mute is going to deny information for the attackers, as long as obviously they can keep their Mute jammers up. And there is no Thatcher being brought by the attackers. However, they still have that incredible self-destruction, Ash, Sophia, and a Buck. So they can go downstairs and pick off the bandit charges, the mute jammers, and just cause general chaos in the bomb site itself. And one of the best teams that I've seen at causing general chaos from below, in Southeast Asia at least, is Xavier Esports. You know, you can see behind the half wall where Defty is going to stand right now. They simply went there, even though they didn't have soft destruction, they simply shot up because they knew someone was playing half wall, and they eventually got that kill.
Yeah, Xavier really proving to be one of the dominant forces of the Southeast Asian scene, and a point to bring up here is way more plant denial is being brought here by Generic. You've got the Maestro, you've got the Bandit, the possible C4, again the Mute, the C4, the Smoke. There is so much plant denial here, so really learning and trying to improve on that.
Yeah, indeed. And it's going to be important to keep this plant denial alive. They haven't been able to in the past few rounds. And I keep on saying this. Even Aerolf has this exact same problem. The Legion and Smoke keep on going down very easily, very early into the rounds. And guess what happens when they stay alive? Well, they win the round. Now, Jibausi, if he turns away at the wrong moment, he can give his position away. But the attacker seems to have fallen off. Nope, the Ash is going to get caught out. Sunset goes down. The phone ringing, but doesn't matter for the Mute. He is alive, and he has Huffy for company. Edith is inside of break room. He's trying to contest this Jaeger, but Jaeger is playing it quite smart, and he'll need a lot of support before he can make this work. Jibausi is going to try and deny the support, but if he pushes too aggressively, the Buck might catch him out. Sino trades with Bachelor here, and ooh, Jibausi seeing the head of Edith does a little bit of damage, cannot land the kill shot. Huffy takes down PDD Henry, and is now all up to Edith to take this fight here in CCTV. Unfortunately, Jibausi missing his initial shots, but Edith unable to react. It's a 1v4 with 1 minute 20 still left. It's just CCTV they're fighting over, and Jibausi gets third of the round. L3 goes down first on the board for Generic.
Jabowski really flexing that aim there. You could see they didn't have the most effective or positive first 2 rounds, but you can see that Generic, they have the aim to bring it home, just like we possibly predicted. Armory is what they needed. They managed to come away with that round there, and now evening it up just a little bit, but now they're forced to go back to Workshop, a site that they have not had the most positive experiences with. We'll see if it can be third time's a charm.
See, once again, I think they're making the same mistake, really. They're bringing a very roam-heavy meta, and the problem is the roam hasn't been working for them. And, okay, I like the fact that they're bringing the Mute again, because that's going to deny a lot of the information, but they have reduced that plant denial. That Maestro is gone, the Smoke is gone. PT King is an extremely good player on the Ella, so him playing the Ella makes sense, but perhaps, well, maybe, I don't know, Bachelor should be going off from the Bandit onto a Smoke if he's comfortable enough. Or maybe just put Jibauzi on to the smoke, because information denial is important, but it's not always consistently as effective as the straight up plant denial. But we'll have to see. Generic may just prefer that kind of playstyle.
And again, now that we've come down below and to, I would say, debatably a larger and more difficult to sort of defend that plant, we have less plant denial, whereas upstairs where I'd say it's a little bit easier in my opinion, they funnel a bit more. We have more. So it's interesting that we don't have, you know, your smoke, we don't have your maestro, both operators that I would consider quite effective on this site. Instead, you're going to have to rely on the bandit and mute C4s, and that's really all you've got. Maybe lesion mines if you're lucky and they step on them, but you know, that's you know, a bit RNG. You can't really rely on that.
So Jibauzi's position here is very aggressive and still has a default cam to play with, at least for a few seconds before it gets destroyed. Bachelor is pinging over and over again. He needs his hatch destroyed. The only two operators who can do it without really wasting important utility are the Castle and the Legion. It's gonna be a bit awkward if both of them have used the impacts. I hope not. Oh, but the Legion! Oh, he takes so much damage. The Ash just can't land the kill shot. Very poor play from Huffy. Goes for a very late Goo mine, and really not recommended. Bachelor still doesn't have the hatch open. If he gets pushed, gets corralled and pinched, he's gonna be in a world of trouble.
Indeed, it seems to be an ace push here for Dad1. Ooh, possibly a bit of a misclick here. I'm getting flashbacks to the warding grenade.
That's not a good flash at all. Now Sunset, he does manage to kind of save the defenders from themselves, but oh, this Mute playing a very dangerous game almost gets caught out. Jibauzi is still on full HP somehow. Huffy and Defty are the ones who have taken a lot of damage. King finally gets taken out. Jibauzi finally gets felled as well. But L3 has been finished off. Xeno does take down Bachelor. However, so it's a 4v2 with 1 minute and 10 seconds left to go. All in all, excellent. So the first two operators that took the damage are the ones that end up staying alive. That roam game, again on the second floor, completely ineffectual.
Although ineffective, at least it has wasted a little bit of time here. Only 50 seconds for the attackers to push in here, and look, they've got a two-man advantage here, which is obviously going to be a great help. And between Huffy and Defty, they only meet the HP requirements to fill about one full health player. So, look, they're pretty lit here. And look, I do not have a whole heap of faith for them here. I think they need to do something crazy. I think just sitting on site, they're just waiting for the inevitable, and unfortunately, the inevitable is not good.
Oh, well, that's too easy. That's too easy. Xeno takes down Huffy from the hatch. Defty just trades one back. He can't get the clutch. Eve swings in, takes him down. And the third Ventilation Workshop's defense goes in the favor of the attackers. It's really not working out. The problem is, really, the initial roam game gets taken apart, and then the last few players, usually it's a 4v2, these guys are very scared to play an aggressive roam game, which is really needed when you're in such a man deficit. You need those individual star players to step up. Those plays aren't coming out because they're afraid of what's happening to the roam game, because that's getting shut down, and then they just are not really suited for that final anchoring on site role. Yeah, Legion can be played on site and he's a very strong operator, but he can't really do it in a 4v2 scenario. It's really tough.
Generic finally changing it up a little bit here. Obviously locked out of upstairs armory, so they cannot go back there until next round.
Wow.
So they are going to come on over to Customs. Looking at the scoreboard here, so I know 8 kills, absolutely insane stuff from him, paving the way for Dad1.
Yeah, indeed. Dad1 are looking very strong. Doesn't look like they've really fallen off much from their previous season's game. Although, you know, could be just that they have practiced border a lot more than Generic. We'll have to see once the whole game is over and done with. Now, it's going to be a Customs defense, and they're going to have a CCTV hold, which is pretty much very essential. And it's, if you remember, when they're defending the second floor, it's really that CCTV hold that won them the game. But this time, we have PT King on the mute rather than Jibauzi. Jibausi has brought the Vigil. No smoke, but there's a Maestro and an Echo, and I think that works out just as fine. Obviously, Echo is not a killing plant denial operator. You know, you have the sub-classifications, I guess. But still a very strong plant denial. You have 2 of those yokai drones. You can use them, maybe 1 for roamers, 1 for the eventual plant denial, and just general wasting time. So let's see how Dad1 can clear out this CCTV the second time around.
You're so right in saying CCTV was such a staple for winning the sole round that Generic currently hold. Will it happen again? We'll have to find out here. And as you said, Jabowski moving off of the mute and on to the Valkyrie. L3K will take down Bachelor again, cutting off these rotates as well, seeming to be very effective. Huffy playing close to the window here. He's going to manage to find Sunset as he jumps on in. That's going to be evening it up. Nice trade from them.
Yeah, but indeed, as for an Echo, I'll take that any day. I might even take 2 players for an Echo if it really means I can make my final side push that much more effectively. Peter King resetting his phone, and Sino is going to shut him down as well. Finally, the trade comes out from Huffy, but now they're in a man disadvantage. They have lost their Echo as well, and they're going to lose their Maestro. So he's getting pinged left, right, and center is Huffy. It's a 3v1 scenario. This has gone pear-shaped. That Dokkaebi really wreaking havoc in the ranks of the Generic members.
Sino is popping off here. The bomb about to go down by Henry. It's a 1v3 for Huffy, and he just gets absolutely shut down. As I think that's a 2k for L3K. Insane stuff from Dad1 here. Really, really proving that they are the better team here on the attacking side.
Indeed, and it's not common in today's meta that you see attackers go that far ahead. Obviously, you saw it in North America today morning that there were teams like, you know, Evil Geniuses just going quite strong. We had Accelerate going very strong as well. Whether it was an attack or defense, and that's really not much when it not really depending on the roles. It's just really coming down to the strength of each team. So far, Dad1 looking a lot better in terms of the strength, but obviously that strength could just be a facade. It just means the strength on attack, perhaps. Though that is unlikely in today's meta with Lion Band and what have you not.
And one of those maps where I find, you know, attacking is probably, you know, where you'll see attackers be, generally speaking, on the same level or very powerful over defending is Coastline. I love Coastline. I think it's such a balanced map, and it's one of those maps where, you know, it's just so even. Like it's incredible. And not to say that I think there's any map where it's like completely uneven, but just the way defending and attacking work can favor some maps over others.
Indeed, and let's look at the defensive operator lineup once again, and I have big problems with it. They are not bringing any plant denial except for 2 C4s. I'm not really going to count the Legion as a straight up plant denial. He happens to be able to do it, but that's not his primary role, I would say. They are bringing no mute that won them the first defense of this second floor bomb site. They're not bringing smokes, they're not bringing Maestro, not Echo. Just the plant denial is so weak right now, and they have an IQ as well. And a Dokkaebi.
It really, it seems like Generic here are really hoping to win this purely off their gunfights. They've got three speeds. Like, yeah, you've got to imagine here that's going to be the name of the game. Everyone, you know, I would say has a pretty favourable gun. You've got Ella's gun, which is great. Jaeger's, you know, like Legions, Bandits, Valks. They're all great weapons. And you know, again, and I can't really blame them, as it, you know, the round that they did win was, you know, won purely off gunfights.
Yeah, indeed, and you've seen like teams like Lestream Esports and Accelerate Gaming, EU and NA respectively. These guys are so good at this current meta of just playing very aggressive, playing with those fragging operators on those fragging roles. Really strong in today's meta. You QEC, crowd spam, and QE. Obviously, none of the players' fault. It's just what the game mechanics are and what players are really discovering is really effective today. and they have been using it to their full potential. So I see where Generic is coming from. The problem for them is this is a bad attempt to do against Team Dad 1.
You think so? What's that?
Well, so far Team Dad 1 has just looked stronger at taking those gunfights, and well, look at that. It's a 5v3 just like that. You have 3 kills going the way of the attackers. 4v2 yet again. Around a minute left to go. Every single round, pretty much, except for the third round, is playing out the same way. The attackers just come in, take lots of map control. They have sight right now, actually. And it's 3v2. The smokes are going to go out. Is the plant coming down? Yes, it is. The Thatcher is going for the plant. He's going to get it down successfully. And that's it. The final 2 kills. Round 6 going to Team Dad 1. This is looking to be a bloodbath.
Your assumption that Dad 1 are better at taking those gunfights, Infian, it's been backed up with pure evidence. Now swapping over sides, we'll see Generic taking on attack and Dad 1 taking on defense. 5 rounds and 5 rounds for Dad 1 and only 1 for Generic. It does not look good here for them, unfortunately. They're going to be bringing out the Monty as well, which is a good. Oh no, maybe they're gonna. I think they're going to decide to 6-pick it in. So it's good to see that they are going to start to prioritize those gunfights a little bit less.
Yeah, Monty, especially in today's meta with the shield, it's really strong. I don't like shields, but I'll obviously admit that they are very, very strong. And if you're really looking to win, if you're looking to take it all the way, just run the shields if you're comfortable. We have seen like Dark Zero Esports, Dark Zero's GG, my bad, running amok with Mint on the Blitz. And obviously in Southeast Asia we have the fantastic Blitz and Monty player, Luna Metal.
Luna knows a thing or two about playing Monty, that's for sure. We're going to see here Dad 1 starting off with Armory, and we talked a little bit about this at the start, where this is generally going to be that starting site. We didn't see it happen for Genetic, but we're going to see it happen here for Dad 1. We're going to see Castle as well played, which is something that you maybe don't see as often on this site.
Yeah, second floor you don't usually see Castle, but I'm really liking the setup. You are gonna Castle of Beepers, which is very important, the metal detector right now that you just saw. And there was a deployable shield being brought by L3, the Echo, and Defty, I'm not sure if he realized there was the Echo there, or just a lucky pre-fire that he was hoping to collect someone. But they are looking to take the east side push, and I think it's going to be repelled very, very strongly. You can see a lot of that one is focused here on the east side. Deployable shield, Yokai, Echo, and just general presence there. PDD Henry and the Legion of Sino are both here. Sunset is actually roaming downstairs, and that's a very interesting roam. Can be very powerful if utilized correctly.
Indeed. We're going to see so many people in these stairs at the moment.
1 C4.
1 C4 is all it takes. Luckily, however, they are going to disperse and not be C4'd. And, we're going to see Monty here again. He's just going to be spotting out these castle barricades. So, nothing...
They have a distinct lack of soft destruction. Look at that.
Yeah, that is certainly true. IQ can bring breach charges, correct?
Oh, yeah, she can, but the question is, have the IQ and Thatcher brought those breach charges? Because the Hibana is going to be using her X-Kairos here on the west balcony wall, so that puts her out of question. But in fact, it could work out well for Generic right now if they simply ignore those castle barricades. They have a Monty, they can really kind of brute force their way into the bomb site, burn out the C4s and the smokes. In fact, there are no C4s, it's just the Echo drone, and he's gonna see one. No, he's actually whacking the barbed wire. If not, he would have seen that Yokai drone getting in position. One of them's gonna hit, the smoke goes in. He needs to be careful. The Thatcher grenade and the IQ combined are going to disable it. Jibausi trying to get the second one. He has spotted it out. So once this Echo goes down and once the smoke grenades are expended, that's going to be very, very strong. And look at that. He's seen and taken out the second Echo drone. So pretty much just left with 1 or 2 of those smoke grenades, and they just have to hold the flank. Those castle barricades are now going to be a detriment to the defenders.
I'm so surprised that this has worked. This is such a one-sided push here for Generic. They have really done nothing explosive here. Jabarxi will get a TK. Huffy onto Henry. Sunset finds 2 coming up massive here. It's all up to IQ. LK will take down Jabarxi, and that's going to be Sunset finding his 3rd onto King. What a retake from Dad 1. And they're going to claim their 6th round, and that's going to bring them on to match point. Sunset, I think he wanted to get one step closer to the ace.
Yeah, Sunset really wanted it, but that was fantastic. Cino's not happy. That was a fantastic retake, and the funny thing was 2 things. Number 1, that strategy worked to get the diffuser down. Number 2, they just fell apart at the seams trying to hold it. I'm not sure whether that was a very rehearsed strategy, whether they were tripping over themselves to get in the proper positioning before Sunset came in from the back and just blew them away. Really seemed like a miscommunication, because with those castle barricades helping out the attack, now the tables have turned, a Monty in play, all the plant denial expended by these defenders should have been an open and shut diffuser defense from the attackers.
It should have been. Now, as I said, on match point here for Dad 1. You know, taking a look at their denial, they've got the C4 of Valk, they've got the C4 of Mute, and yeah, that's about it. Again, we talked about Legion Mines. I'm not really sure if we'd classify that as plant denial, but yeah, again, although Dad 1 are ahead here, we gotta admit there's really not much plant denial on the table here.
Yeah, indeed, and that's gonna be a problem right now if these guys are not strong enough with their gunfights. But everything we have seen in the 7 rounds so far is that they are very strong with their gunfights. The only really round that we saw a problem with their gunfights was in round number 3, where Edith just was very lost, and Chibausi just collected a fair few kills just doing nothing in CCTV. Now they're on the attack. PC King has shown great prowess on these fragging rolls previously, but so far he's been very, very quiet.
Bachelor rappling on in here, making his way to East Stairs, and again getting East Stairs control is essential. Let's just not have the entire team stacked up in there. Again, L3K making these holes possibly a little bit late here, but get away with it just fine. And again, back cams, we're seeing this a lot more often these days, as teams don't necessarily seem to have those preset back cam spots, as generally speaking they'll get found out. They'll just sort of wing it a little bit, just chuck them random pretty much every time. And when teams are more increasingly bringing IQ, those back cams really start to take a back seat.
Indeed, and oh, we're gonna have the first kill going to the attackers. Second as well, Bachelor popping off. Sunset there, the main thorn in their side goes down. Bachelor takes a bit of damage from below. He's gonna try and concuss that defender. He's not actually going to get it. That Grismo mine didn't really hit, but the C4, one of them from below. Sino gets the information from his dead teammates watching his cameras, surely, and that's a perfect C4 right now. Well done. Sino again.
Sino finding another one. He's evening it up here. He's making the difference for his team. It's 3v3. Plenty of time, however, for the attackers to push. They've got just so much time here. They can really think about what they're doing. They've got map control. You know, although we saw Sino find 2 kills and even it up, I still got to say, I feel like the attackers have the advantage here.
Yeah, definitely they do. It's a very strong lineup of operators. I believe the Sledge still has his grenades. So there's self-destruction, there's information game for the electronics. We have hard destruction as well, and just 2-3 speeds to frag grenades. So it's very good. And they are fighting pretty much zero utility except for that Legion. Sino's gonna get taken out very low, but he wins that fight against Jibausi. The IQ, they're kind of forgetting, Generic, that these holes are working 2 ways. And Huffy, however, he does trade out onto PDD Henry. And Huffy again, Sino goes down, takes a lot of damage from the side. Edith is alone right now. He needs to clutch this out. He has full HP. Huffy is so very low. You just have to breathe on him and you can win this round. But the plant is going down, even if you deny it right now. But it's not going to happen. Huffy, 3k at the end of the round, pushing into sight, keeps Generic alive.
Rocking the Fnatic skin as well, got to represent, but yeah. Xeno and his efforts are 3k. Unfortunately, it's not enough for Dad1. Generic are going to live to breathe another day. And they're going to have 4 more opportunities here on match point here for Dad.
Yeah, indeed. So the thing is, obviously you guys probably know how this works by now, but in case you don't, in case you're new to the Pro League, Generic can only get a draw from this map. This map, not this entire game from this point onwards. So it's a first to 7 or a 6-6 draw scenario. So the best Generic can hope for is a 6-6 scoreline. That's going to be quite the comeback, I would say. So hopefully they can get it done, but doesn't look really like it. Looking like from map number 1 here on border, it's going to be 3 points being awarded to Team Dad1.
Indeed, and although that round looked to be, you know, a bit more one-sided to Generic, you know, you can see that just like the previous round where we had that insane retake, Dad1 are willing to grasp at the smallest opportunities. If you give them an inch, they will take a mile.
Yeah, that's indeed great use of the idiom. I really love that myself. And one more thing I wanted to note, that they have gone from that passive intel game, kind of, with the Legion, to a more active intel game plus a plant denial in that C4. And really, that's pretty much what almost leveled the scenario just now for them in the previous round. We had Xeno with that C4 and then using that information to get another. Uses the first, presumably, there we go, with the Valkyrie cameras. Bachelor though, he's going to take down Sunset. That's a great shot, it looked like, from above the head of the attacker right now. And the SMG-11 is a bit of an unwieldy weapon, and Bachelor is going to be pushing in. Jibausi is taking a lot of damage as well. Huffy, however, he's going to reset. It's going to be very tough for him. Oh, but what a shot! L3 onto Huffy. Incredible stuff. The sledge goes down, and he's going to toss out his C.
Incredible stuff there for L3K. Securing those highly desired 3 points here in the SEA Pro League for Dad1.
They have kind of really just blown away Generic.
I'm not gonna tell fibs and say I know a whole heap about the SEA region. Was doing some pretty nut stuff with that weapon earlier in the ANZ Pro League.
Yeah, and you know, honestly, a lot of people just stopped playing Smoke entirely. You know, Smoke's pick rate plummeted after a nerf pretty significantly after that. And now it's back. People have kind of figured out what the SMG-11 is like, and we saw in North American PL as well. It's really looking good for Smoke. People have kind of figured out. So, yeah, we should be getting underway in map 2 very, very soon. Just give us one moment. So, yeah, the map number 2 is going to be Consulate, and we are almost ready to go. What do you think is going to happen, Sky? Now that you have seen both these teams kind of play it out, kind of got a handle on what they can do, at least in this one map that you have seen, Border.
I think it's going to be a similar story. I think when you look at Consulate and you look at Border, they're sort of similar maps, right? You've got 2 main sides you can push from. When you look at Border, that's going to be Armory side, Armory Wall, and officers. When you look at Consulate, that's going to be admin and console room. So, you know, it's, again, obviously they're not the exact same map. No map is, but I think they have a similar enough layout to where what Dad1 just did, I think it's going to transfer over.
Yeah, indeed. We're going to have to just see one thing, though. Generic's strength that we have seen on Consulate, is it going to be a factor at this point? Because you know, my memory may not be the best, but I think it's pretty decent. From what I remember of their previous map, it was previous time they played Consulate, it was a bit of column A, column B, and column A and column B being gunplay and strategies. So the thing was, they were trying very hard just now to rely pretty much only on those gunplays, as you noted, and that didn't work out at all, because you saw that. You saw Cino going ham. You saw L3, especially with the 1v4. They are just getting destroyed on the gunplay level. Their gunplay is strong, but they've come up against someone who's at least equally as strong.
Even more, I'd have to say.
Yeah.
6-1, like, I think that's a little bit more than equally, in my opinion. Hopefully we should be getting underway soon, as you said, on Consulate. And even just the morale there for Generic, it's got to be low, especially after that clutch. Like, if they had have just lost it in that last round where they just, you know, throughout the round they just couldn't win it, and in the end they lost it. But to be 4-1 and lose it, that has just got to be an absolute slap in the face.
Yeah, those guys must have been kicking themselves, because the only way you can win a map advantage with like all your utility expended is when you go have the opponents make severe mistakes, and the biggest mistakes is allowing that lone defender to take the 1v1s. You can't do that. Just set up the crossfires, support each other, give those accurate callouts. And I really felt the moment when he was going up those main stairs, he would be shut down instantly. But no, he went up, he got kills, he came down, he got kills. That can't be allowed to happen. And really poor everything from Generic Esports.
And it's interesting, isn't it? 'Cause the one round we saw Generic win, it was quite convincing. You could see that their aim was quite incredible. You could see that they have the potential to make this a far closer series, but they're not sort of getting to the point where it matters. They're just being absolutely overran by Dad 1.
Yeah, that's the really funny thing, because PT King, he went on Ella for like 3 or 4 rounds, but he just couldn't get anything done. And that's the funny thing, because PT King has been an absolute force on the Ella. I believe when he played it last time, he got 10, 12 kills. He was really a standout performer. Him and Bachelor really doing incredible amount of work, and he showed quite a good showing against Xavier Esports, the #1 team in Southeast Asia. And if you can show that kind of strength, that kind of prowess against them, it's a bit awkward when you start faltering against someone who has not really even been the top 3 contention ever.
Yeah. Again, I think awkward is a great word to fit that situation. Hopefully we're getting underway here soon. I'm not exactly sure what the hold up is, but we should be starting up pretty soon here.
So, just wanted to... Alright, we are going to get underway in just a few moments, just a few seconds. So, game number 2, map number 2 is going to be Consulate. First one won very convincingly by Team Dad1 by a scoreline of 7-2. Now, what does Generic have to offer here on Border? So they're going to start off on defense, and Consulate is one of those maps recently has become severely defender-sided, at least in other regions. Haven't seen too much of Southeast Asia in Season 9 so far, and a good ban, I would say. They were really running around with their hair on fire against that Dokebi just now, so it's good that they've kind of identified that, alright, we got shredded by the Dokebi, really creating chaos in our ranks. So let's just ban her out and we don't have to deal with it. And Lion's already banned, so those global ability operators, 2 out of 3 have been taken off the board, and that's Sledge ban. Very interesting. What do you think of that, Sky?
Sledge ban is interesting for sure. You barely ever see that. Personally, being a Sledge main, I'm a little bit offended, but yeah, I gotta say, Sledge is a great operator. He's got a really great soft breaching ability. He's got grenades. He's got two very solid weapons in the SMG-11, and obviously L3K just previously gave us a pretty good example of why that thing can shred. You know, you've got the L8, which is probably my favorite rifle in the game. It's just a solid all-round rifle, you know. Predictable recoil, good magazine, good damage. You know, it's nothing crazy, it's nothing terrible, it's just in the middle.
Yeah, you'd see a buck ban more often, but it's going to be a pulse and echo ban for the other two bans. But going back to the Sledge, because really, as you said, we don't see that ban pretty much at all. In fact, we see buck banned a lot more often because he has that ranged ability with that skeleton key to open up the floor or even shoot upwards to open up the ceiling. That's a very strong ability, and it's curious that they've chosen to ban the Sledge. Not sure why, but I guess we're about to find out. Hopefully, Mira is not banned here, so Bachelor is going to be selecting that, and instantly there's a Twitch, and Twitch is the one true counter to the Mira. Being a Twitch Mira main, I kind of have a love-hate relationship with myself.
Yeah, that's an interesting one to ban for sure. I guess maybe they've chosen to ban the Sledge over Buck here is because, in my opinion, Sledge's rifle is a bit better than Buck's. And on this map, although that ranged ability is great, you're generally going to be breaking the floor below you, not above you. So, you know, obviously here you'll get piano control, and then that's where you'll generally speaking use that Sledge to break the floor. You don't normally see people shooting up. Obviously it happens sometimes, but it's not like the Bible. You're not going to see it all the time.
I mean, honestly, I actually don't see why they don't try it more. We have seen some teams try, like when you're attacking onto the second floor bomb site, just play the buck in, say, like right below connector. You see where his mirror is right now. Play him inside of the main lobby, inside of piano, and if you can hold those rotations well enough, that's gonna be chaos on the defensive side of things. We have seen some teams try it out, but clearly it's not a strategy that they prefer too much. There are obviously downsides to it, chiefly being that it's very hard to return to the action once you have committed yourself. It's a pretty big spread that you have to cover, and secondly, it's very hard to hold the rotations, all three of them, or maybe even five if you open up the hatches.
Drones here, and again, you can see even after a first very dominant map here, Dad One, you know, they've got the game face on them. They're not taking anything for granted, droning top floor carefully, you know, not peeking any stupid angles just yet. Again, it's early on, we don't know, but look, that's a good start.
Yeah, indeed, and really it was the drone game that gave them such a strong advantage on the first map, on when they were attacking, and it was generic defending as well the first time around on border, and even in this defensive meta they weren't able to. And Sunset, once again, great opening frag. He got quite a few of those on border as well. Huffy goes down, so the Ash killing the Jaeger. A tale as old as time.
It's not a good start here, is it? You've got to hope that they're going to somehow bring this back. We can see Jabarski on the pulse here, and not the pulse, the castle, and he's going to get taken down by L3K.
Oh, that was a missed opportunity. He almost had this mute. PT King, I think he was rotating through there. Oh, what a shot from Edith. Trying to throw out a goo mine, but gets his head taken off. Immediately traded off by PT King, however, but is in bad shape right now. And PT King almost getting caught out once again from that same hatch. Bachelor takes his time to get the kill onto Sunset, now pushes out aggressively, waiting for the push down from Spiral, but PT King is now left alone to pretty much hold B, and that's really bad. He peeks out just a bit too much. Bachelor off the board is a 3v1, that's right. Can PT King do what L3 did?
Looking to give them a taste of their own medicine here. It's a big ask, however, here for PT King, and He's going to have to get to work very, very soon. And with the Jackal track, it doesn't make anything easier. He's probably going to get wallbanged by L3K, and L3K is going to deny PT King a chance at doing what he did best.
Oh dearie me, and that was just unfortunate. It's honestly the worst feeling when you're like the last man alive, and you're like, okay, I can clutch this. I know where they are. I know where the attackers are pushing from. I have information. I have everything that I could possibly want, except, you know, teammates. And then, bing, that Jackal track comes on, and you're like, oh my god, no, please, no. And usually, if the Jackal or the rest of the team is decently enough, you see what happens there. You just die.
There's nothing I hate more than in life, and this is life, not just Siege, than to be Jackal tracked 3 times in a row.
Oh my god.
That is not fun at all. That is just...
Yeah, that is the worst. I agree. I've thankfully not had that myself, but you know, as some guy who's started to play a bit more Jackal, because, you know, he's such a frustrating operator, I don't like playing against him. So I've tried to learn more about him, trying playing him. Thankfully...
Oh, sure.
Yeah. I mean, I've tried to learn how he works. I'm not very good at it. But thankfully I've not ended up jackling one player 3 times in a row yet.
Yet, TM. I'm sure the day will come and whoever's on the opposite side of the Jackal track will not be a happy chappy.
Oh man, I mean, I'm sorry, you either live long enough to die a hero or, you know, I messed that code up really badly. I'm sorry.
And nevertheless,
you know what
nevertheless, I know what you meant. I know what you meant. Nevertheless, it's a good first round for Dad 1, and again, you've got to. It doesn't help, does it? To be 4v1, 1v4, and then to come back. You know, you've had that time. You're probably so mad after that, and you just, you know, if you've got a coach who's telling them, just chill out, guys. It'll be better next map. It'll get better. It'll get better. Just chill out. You know, take some breathers, and then you come into the next round, and you get just absolutely dominated on pretty much. Like it was a 3v1, so it wasn't full domination. I'd say that it was a 5v3.
Yeah. So, well, the thing is, I'm not sure if Generic have a coach per se. And that's one thing that Southeast Asian teams kind of really lack, and ANZ teams have really fixed this, even, you know, top to bottom. I think, correct me if I'm wrong, Sky, I think almost every ANZ team has a coach, right?
Yeah, I think you'd be right in saying that.
Yeah.
Fnatic, we've got Dizzle, we've got Uyan for Mind Freak, Shifty for Avant. Yeah, I think so.
Yeah, and so the thing in Southeast Asia is coaches don't really seem to be a thing here, and I don't really understand why. Maybe it's language differences, maybe it's just time zone differences, something that's really preventing them. Aerowolf doesn't have a coach. They have a substitute. They only got him this season. Aerowolf doesn't have a coach. I believe Xavier doesn't have a coach as well. They have a manager, but not a coach. Really, I don't think there's any Southeast Asian team. I might be forgetting. Correct me if I'm wrong, someone in chat. But I don't think there's anyone with a coach. And once again, opening frag goes to Dad 1.
Maybe everyone's just so hungry to play. Maybe no one wants to come.
Yeah, I mean, that's true, but, you know, I know some players who would make some pretty solid coaches, but we'll have to see. I really think it's high time that Southeast Asia started catching up, because we have just seen what coaches can do, and it doesn't matter if you're looking at the worst team with a coach or the best team with a coach. That's G2 still. But Huffy is going to trade one back. Edith taken down. Oh, good shot, Huffy. Makes it a 2v4 in his team's favor. And this is suddenly looking very good. 25 seconds. He does get traded off by Sunset, trying to contest a very poor angle against the ACOG. Still could happen for Dad 1.
15 seconds left. A bomb has been
Oh, it's getting close as Henry will take down Defty. I don't think Sunset saw the one in the fridge. PT King will take down Henry. Sunset takes down PT King, but oh my gosh, it's so close. Bachelor in the end will just bring it home, but you couldn't have written that any closer there.
How did PT King get that first frag onto PDD Henry without the Ash even hearing him or trading him out quicker? because the trade came quite late, and by the time he got the trade down, the other defender was on him.
I'm honestly not sure. Yeah, I don't.
Yeah, that didn't make sense, right? Yeah, so, well, that is that generic, pretty solid defense. Almost throwing it away though. That gunplay once again kind of lacking. That one just seemingly quite a bit stronger, and that is a problem. And Jackal being swapped out for Capital. That's very interesting. You still have 2 smokes, but you lose that sidearm shotgun. You also lose that Jackal ping, but you gain 2 asphyxiation bolts. I don't know whether that's a 1-2-1 trade. What would you think, Sky?
I think it really just depends on what sort of strategy they want to deploy here. Something that we see sometimes is you'll see someone sit on the I think it's called meeting room with the A bomb site. You'll see people sit there with a shield. So obviously those asphyxiation bolts are incredibly useful for mollying someone out of the shield. But if that is going to be the sort of play that we see employed by Genetic, we will have to find out.
So, Bachelor was almost about to put one of his evil eyes on the soda machine. That would have been a good angle, but the thing is, very easily spotted out, very easily taken down. They have an Ash, they have Thatcher, so could be disabled by Thatcher, taken out by the Ash, and I think there was a late Valkyrie camera being thrown out. I don't think the attackers heard it, did they? Didn't seem to.
I'm not sure, and this is just what I was saying before. The way we see these Valkyrie cannons deployed has changed so much over time. They're really sort of just YOLO'd out the windows now, instead of being in free place, really thought out cam spots, because they just get counter-stratted quite easily.
Yeah, and one thing I noticed, they didn't bring the Buck or maybe a Finka even, because you had the Yellow Stairs player, and you had the flashbangs destroying the ADS, but there was no follow-up to it really. That's a pre-play C4 detonating, and surviving is the Ash. But yeah, we saw a lot of that quick follow-up, especially in NA Team Reciprocity, using that excellently Skies on the Buck. Yeah, you're attacking second floor, yeah, maybe the Buck doesn't really have too much to do, but those 2 frag grenades can be so powerful right now. If they had cleared out the Yellow Stairs player, they have cleared him out, but they didn't get the kill. Definitely still kind of hanging around in the bathroom, you can see. If it had been an outright kill with the immediate follow-up by the grenades, that would have been much nicer. But Sino might lose his life right now. No, he wins that fight. That's incredible. Defty gets taken down, and Edith takes down PT King. Now it's Bachelor with very low HP for a Maestro, and that's a lot of the round left, and lots of damage being done as well. PDD Henry is going to clean up. Tribowski goes down. It's a 5v2. Dat1 looking like they're going to storm this.
Seems like Dat1 are winning all these fights. They have no right to win. Huffy takes down Sunset, but only after he takes down his teammate. It's all up to Huffy here. He's going to have to ace to win it out here. He's got to deny for 40 seconds. I believe he still has his C4, but I do not like his chances. What?
Yeah, I mean, that's the Yellow Stairs player. There's one on the rappel. The diffuser has gone down too easily, and you see now he's going to take a lot of damage. All the attackers who are really now playing defensive role have to do is just play it passive, really, just trade out the kills. 1 C4, this could be disastrous. Can't collect 2, but does collect 1. Oh, Huffy, great shot, takes down PDD Henry, but can't expect a 3rd player. Honestly, if that C4 had been thrown a little bit deeper, that could have been a 1v1 really quick. The stacking's not good.
It could have been scary there, and unfortunate for Huffy that he couldn't do to Dat1 what Dat1 did to them. But he got close to it. He took down 2 of them. Now going to have a Genetic picking again, and they're going to go back upstairs even after how disastrous that round was for them. When you're in a 4v1 post plant, you've got to say, was picking a site really the right move? And Genetic, they seem to want to have another shot at it. And again, this seems to be a reoccurring trend here. We saw this on border. They picked down below. They picked Workshop 3 times, and all 3 times were unsuccessful.
Yeah, well, I don't know. The thing is, when you are defending the first floor, you have to hold second floor presence as well, maybe even have basement presence sometimes, and have that first floor presence, so you're spread fairly thin. And what we saw read just now on Border is when they tried defending the advanced workshop and spread their resources up on the second floor, they simply couldn't hold it. So maybe they're just, just not equipped, perhaps. Don't want to say that yet. They might fire back as they did on the basement, but that split roaming, which they're gonna have to do if they win 2 in a row, I mean. So they're gonna have to go on either of the two not preferred bomb site first floor or the split bomb sites, both of which I think are gonna cause them to run their resources thin. And the moment you have thin resources, you're just gonna have Dadwan just run amok. Not that they aren't already, but ooh, spawn peek from PT King. L3 goes down.
One of the star players for Dadwan, and I think we actually saw him attempt the same spawn peek the previous round. So to see him do it again and be successful, obviously the first time was neutral. He didn't die, didn't get a kill, it was fine. But to see him try it again and for that to be successful is unfortunate to say the least.
Yeah, we had Huffy trying the spawn peek as well from admin. He didn't get one, but PT King did. So, job done. You can see both of them backed off very, very quickly. But it's not... Oh, Defty's playing too dangerous. Exposing himself to the window. There is an Ash repel right there. Lucky for him, Sunset does not peek in right at that moment. That's poor positioning, and we saw quite a lot of that on the first round, didn't we? Oh, that Doc is so close to losing his life. Needs to be a lot more careful when rotating the entirety of Generic.
Got to give Huffy credit where credit's due, though. He has shown up quite well this map, so, if he does want to take this more aggressive angle, you have to have faith in him that he's going to make it a success here. Sunset, however, not taking any chances just yet. Droning out Huffy, making sure that he knows the down low. He knows where Huffy is, so that he can potentially get that pre-fire. PT King finding his second of the round here. Both two opponents that have been on the exterior of the building.
The front lobby default cam is up. I think that's where, that's where he's trying to look again and again. And sure, you aren't really attacking that, but you should really be taking that default cam up in case you ever decide, like, alright, we need to make a rotate down there. Oh, Defty can't control the SMG-11, and he's gonna lose that fight against PDD Henry. 3v3 right there and then 3v2. Edith takes down Jabausi. PT King really step up to save this round for his team because it's 50 seconds. They are in a man disadvantage. There are still 2 C4s, but he has lost 3 of those smokes. Defty just playing just too aggressive and can't back up the gunplay with that aggression. Or the other way around, really. Can't back up the aggression with the gunplay.
PT King potentially would have to ace here to win this round if
Nope.
doesn't do anything. Sunset takes down PT King. It's all up to the Valkyrie here. Got to find a 1v3, 24 seconds to deny before the C4 goes out.
Ooh.
Was that a C4? I'm not even sure, but it doesn't matter. Sunset will take down Bachelor. That'll be the 3rd round on the board for Dadwan.
That was really just excellent stuff from Dadwan all around. They seem to have an excellent team composition. They have their defined roles, but each of them can step up whenever needed. Edith a little bit, kind of overshadowed him and PDD Henry, Sino, L3, and Sunset really taking the plaudits from us right now. But make no mistake, these guys are extremely important for every single round that Dadwan has won. And, I think we are on course for another 7-something. 7-2, 7-3, maybe?
I'm not sure. I hope not for Genetic, but again, we're in the exact same situation we were the first map, where only 1 round on the board for Genetic, and they're going to go back downstairs. This is where they found that success on that 1 round that they have won. But again, it was a 1v1, it was so close.
Yeah, well, it really just did come down to a 1v1. We almost had the attackers clutch it. I believe it was the Ash or Sunset. could have worked out really well in favor for that one. I mean, that round could have been a 4-0 right now. Would have been really tough. As it stands, Generic, they still have a chance of tying this half up. But the way things have gone, not looking too good. It's a very disparate defense right now that we're seeing. I'm not sure I like this roam.
It is interesting, and again, looking at Plant and Nile, we've got the C4 on Bandit and Maestro, and although it's great to see a Maestro in play here and really good Plant and Nile, only one C4. One C4. Like, is that really...
They keep on criminally underrating C4s and just plant denial in general. They play those plant denial operators so aggressively. Xeno takes on Bachelor. We saw Echo getting taken down on border. We saw Smoke, the Smoke players always being one of the first to fall. What's going on with Generic?
Not sure here. So no, just pre-firing just to be careful, and we've got PDD on one cell health point here. Definitely still playing decently aggressive here. Possibly just trying to find a pick before he rotates back down. Xeno finding Harvey for the second kill of the round for him.
It's a great angle. Second floor all the way down into the basement. It just keeps you safe from C4s. Wow, where did he send that? Ooh, that was second floor to first floor grenade. Incredible stuff. Second one explodes, doesn't do effect. But Edith has taken down Defty. He's doing well as well on this round at least. We have two members lit up, both 3 speed, so really breathe on them and they'll die. But doesn't matter, they're in a 5v2. They're gonna be feeling really good about this. They have soft destruction right now. They have, you know, ammunition in the skeleton key. They have Capital Smoke and asphyxiation bolts, and PT King, he's just gonna get pushed in by Edith. Looks the wrong way, not sure whether he got a wrong sound cue, wrong call. Jibausi is gonna try and ace clutch this, but smoke grenades, really smoke bolts are gonna fly out. The diffuser goes down with little difficulty. What a pre-fire from Sunset, headshot right out to Jibausi. Crazy.
That's an incredible pre-fire there. I was gonna say, with all that, oh my god, what is that? That is insane. That is just like, as if Generic are already feeling down enough right now, and you just do that to them, like, just like that. That's gonna make them feel like they have no chance. Like, and it's not even like he literally did that before he even moved towards the doorway.
Yeah.
Like, he's just one step ahead of him.
It's really good game sense, honestly, and it's just good gunplay as well. Obviously, both kind of have an overlap, but you know, just you're just having Generic just falling to pieces. We know that's the worst part is we know Generic isn't this weak. I guess if you can go 7-2 on Coastline, Xavier's best map, right, and Xavier being the best team in Southeast Asia, either it means Dad 1 have become so good this season that they are going to give Xavier a run for their money, or it means that Generic is just a very hot and cold team, just not able to translate the consistency, you know, or bring some sort of consistency of their own strength levels.
And talking about consistency, it is completely possible that it's just not their day. You know, that happens sometimes for teams where, you know, you're just not feeling it, you're just not hitting your shots, you know, the comms aren't good, and again, it's entirely possible that's the case.
Yeah, that would be unfortunate if that is the case. That's happened to many teams before, and you know, I think the most famous example recently is really just Evil Geniuses kind of not really showing up on LAN. A lot of people, in my opinion, erroneously targeting NVK for being an underperformer. Teams just have their bad days. They even have slumps, entire periods of play where they just can't get the result that they need. G2 is in a slump right now, but Generic, perhaps they don't have that kind of luxury. G2 obviously a very strong team. They can turn to that strength pretty much any time. Generic right now, Defty is gonna get lit up so very much. Thankfully, Bachelor is playing the dog, should heal him very soon. Bachelor's gonna take a life before giving some to Defty first. He's actually nowhere close to Defty, in fact. Defty needs his heal right now, and Bachelor just having a merry old time on the first floor.
And talking about G2 Esports, there's a lot of debate around if they're saving strats or what they're doing. But what are your thoughts on that?
I mean, it's a long topic, but the short of it is they are definitely saving strats, but the performances that they're churning out don't come just from saving strats, because they still want to get the points, they still want to win. And that's a very smart move. So you down Defty, and then you revive him with a dot pistol, so you get 75 HP instead of, what is it, 40 HP, yeah, 40 HP on the normal stim pistol. So excellently done, although you do lose the ability to get revived a second time.
Yeah, you got a little bit more bang for your buck there. And,
oh, there we go.
Generic making
That's
sure they take the most of it. And, yep, there we go. Defty there, finding Edith. Sunset with a quick trade, and we've been in this situation before so many times. Do not count Dad one out here. They might not have a heap of time, and they might not have the man advantage, but they can prove that their aim can just slog them through absolutely anything.
Oh, is there a flank drone? No! Huffy's gonna take down PDD Henry. The Hibana goes down. Diffuser gets dropped. 30 seconds. This is gonna sow chaos into the ranks of the attackers. And Generic looking really strong to take this round. The last two members are gonna have to do the hatch drop. Are they going to be able to defend the hatch drop in time? It's just 15 seconds. What are they waiting for? What's going on? Just go! Dadman, go! Utility's gonna come out. Oh my god. Dope. Sunset takes down Bachelor. Jibalsi takes down L3. Sunset's alone, doesn't have the diffuser. That one took just a bit too long, really. And there's a camera up as well. Look.
It looks like they were contemplating life for a minute. But nevertheless, Generic already doing better than they have on the previous map. So look, if there's anything to be positive about for them, it's got to be.
Yeah, well, 4-2 on the half, better than 5-1 on the half as it was previously. Zofia might be 6 picked onto the Jackal. I think that was the initial pick. But I like this double heart breacher that's coming out. No, it's going to be Thermite. So, well, no double heart breacher, but good swap. I would still say that's a very good swap. You still have a soft destruction. You have your Blackbeard, strong operator, hard destruction, soft destruction again in the Zofia. And then he saw the mirror coming out, and he's like, alright, I'm going to go on Twitch. I'm going to, you know, try and take down the mirror setup. And then once I'm done, hopefully, look at that Sunset with 10. Incredible. So once he's done taking down those mirror, I can have the F2 and just go ham.
Dude, F2 debatably the best gun in the game, and yeah, again at the start when the ban phase first came out, Mirror was getting constantly banned every time almost. But you know now teams have sort of sat back a bit, and we're sort of over that phase where Mirror gets through the, I would say, you know, a lot more than what she used to, and you know, just really smart adaptation from Generic to see that you know, there's a Mirror, let's bring the Twitch and try to use that as a counter.
Yeah, it's a very standard setup as well as coming out in the first floor bathroom, and it's a strong setup because you want to deny the piano control that the Buck and possibly Zofia so desperately want. So Huffy, now he's sending his Twitch drone in from a fair distance away. He's gonna be hoping that Bachelor can keep these defenders occupied enough that he can sneak his drone in. Personally, I would have just sent it through somewhere closer so that you don't have to risk it getting taken down. There are two members here though. It's gonna be tough for him to pop that mirror window without someone else doing something, and that's one face shield I heard breaking.
Yeah, and a decent chunk of health as well. He's gonna be taken down to half health, so you know, not quite enough to be reset, but well, I mean, you could reset if you're a really keen Infian, but I think you come out like 1 health point less than what you.
Oh, okay, so breaching charge is not Claymore on the Twitch. You don't often see that, and I'm not sure if Huffy should be taking these fights right now, but not sure if he's deployed both his Twitch drones or he has lost them. If he's lost them, it's a big loss, because he has not been able to do anything of note really. And Peter King is going to be using that same strategy that we had the buck from Dad 1 use, going from the second floor looking in. So it kind of bypasses that mirror window. You don't really need Twitch in that case, but you obviously want the Twitch. So first kill going to Generic Esports Jibausi with his rifle shield. I think he still has the second one, or I'm not sure. So, oh, that's really good stuff from Bachelor. Swings in at right the correct moment, takes down that castle, makes it a 2-man advantage for his team. They don't even need the Twitch.
Harvey as well takes down Sunset.
What was Sunset doing?
Incredible stuff there. I'm not sure. I think he's trying to stick out the flank or something. Jabowski is going to get downed. I'm not sure if that's a reset. Oh, got to be careful, but the timing for Huffy is going to be on point. It's all up to Sino. I don't see much chance here for him, and he'll get taken down by Bachelor and Generic starting to crawl their way back into this matchup.
Indeed, 4-3. It's looking really like anybody's game, and looking, so far at least, that Generic's defense is a lot worse than their attack. They attack good coordination, good drone work, and just good way of taking the fights, good movement, good everything really, except perhaps maybe Twitch play, but doesn't matter. Huffy got a kill, the mirror was bypassed, and yada yada.
See, just bringing in the Twitch again this time, and you know, not needing to 6-pick that. They've sort of given that card away. They are going to swap off the IQ onto the Ying, and Ying was actually banned last map, so again, you can already see that this really isn't one of those preferred operators that these teams like to deal with.
Yeah, Ying just generally, I think we really saw the worst of Ying when she launched, or really in Season 6 basically. We had Arrowwolf, then known as Tide, I think. They went through a lot of name changes. Tide, NZ, Cryptic, whatever you knew them at that time. They used Ying pretty much indiscriminately. They paired her with Glass, Sophia, and at that time, if you remember, Ying had smoke. And it was 3 smokes. It was just a nightmare to play against. I think everyone in Southeast Asia has seen that play, and they're like, all right, just no, I don't want to ever experience that ever again. And she's still extremely strong, because the only thing that stops her is a Jaeger, and Jaeger, you can just burn it with factory grenades, you can burn it with just flashbangs, anything.
Or if you're a really good shot.
Yeah, that too.
But that's a little bit less reliable, isn't it? Especially when you're not on land, hitting C4 charges, hitting Yings as well. It's gonna
really, really tough. And obviously Ying has that delayed thing. She can deploy like a fuse charge or over barricades on floors and what have you not, soft walls and everything. So that makes her a lot stronger. And one thing I am kind of disappointed to see, to not see really, since Ying has been less and less picked, is the evolution of the Ying charge placements. But when you do see, oftentimes you see delayed Yings, or you say top to bottom Yings, and they work really, really well because you can't shoot it in that case, you know?
Edith here, lurking around the lobby, or is in such an exposed position. If they decide to open up that front door, he is going to scuttle along, however, and he'll be safe for the time being. And Bachelor, you've got to imagine Sino hearing that weapon, just absolutely scared and already being dispersed of. And yes, the Jaeger is going to save it. Sino is going to be in absolute disbelief and relief that happened.
Yeah, whoa, no, the Ying gets shot down. She'd only used one Candela really, and it was caught by the ADS, so the Ying absolutely wasted. That one must be feeling really good. They've taken down a very important operator, and they've taken down a second. PT King, the soft destruction and frag grenades off the board. Sino takes down one more. Defty is gone for the count. Hibana off. Thankfully, she did get the utility expended, pretty much a hard utility as well, at least. Flashbangs were still available, and oh, if only Chipausi knew. If only he knew.
And again, you've got to imagine after such a just terrible first map for Genetic, and to come into this map, and now the previous 2 rounds they start to get that momentum, and now this happens. They've got 1 player left. It's a 1v5 with no time at all. Like, that is one way to just absolutely kill momentum.
Yeah, honestly, you ask any player, and if you ask them, what would you like? Would you like a close game and then you just lose members, like you get a 1v5 with 1 minute left to go? Or would you like everyone but you get spawn peeked right away, and then you have like 2 minutes for 1v5, and every player will say, give me those 2 minutes at least, you know, I want the time. 30 seconds, he got 1 kill, couldn't do much, didn't have time to do much, unless somehow Dad went all lined up for a collateral. But that didn't happen. Dad went too wily for that. It's a 5-3, 2 more rounds for Dad one to take home 6 points in total.
Gonna see, no, we saw the Monty there tease for a little bit, but nope, that is not going to be the case. They might play to 6 pick it in, we'll have to see. Yep, Monty's gonna be 6 picked into off from Finker, which is great because Finker isn't my favourite operator, we'll say that much.
Yeah, well, that's fair enough. It's not my favorite as well. She comes off of a very cheese pick, and the worst part is that cheese works. So that just annoys me greatly as well. But you can't deny she's very strong, especially now that she has frag grenades. In my opinion, that's a bad move, giving the frag grenades from IQ to Finker. Because now you start pairing her up with shields, and she's just a menace. You can barely see the shield drop and the ADS come out for that shield operator, like a blitz especially, before you're dead. You're either flash and dead, or you're just dead.
And especially in Southeast Asia, where you've got some of those notorious shield players like Luna Metal that you were mentioning before.
And Producer Boom on Xavier.
Yeah, it's incredibly scary to come up against that just force that is shields.
Now, round number 9, these guys on attack, Generic Esports, they need to claw this back now. If they start facing a 6-3 scoreline, I don't know if they have that mental fortitude to hold on. And this is a very good castle setup. It's gonna delay that push in. Look at that. It's pretty much cordoned off that bathroom area almost on its own. And Sunset on the mirror is gonna have his mirror window protected really well.
Indeed, and Bachelor just face checking everything here, trying to speed up that droning process. We actually have a cap can in play as well with the Montaigne that slipped past us, but you know, cap can is, you know, also seen, we're talking a bit like Finker, seen, you know, more commonly these days with it. And I think it was quite a while ago that these traps were sort of upgraded to where you can't see the laser and you got a few more of them, but yeah, it's great to see. Huffy will take down PDD, and now, wow, they've actually just eliminated the bathroom room.
That's very quick. Edith, though, he's on the Capcan, and I think 1 explosion was a Capcan trap, and he's gonna get 2. That is gonna put the man advantage in his team's favor. Now he's on the exit stairs. He doesn't have much room to maneuver, especially if Bachelor starts pushing him. But oh my god, Bachelor, you need to be careful. It's clear that Bachelor is not a common shield player, because you have to really expect those kinds of holds. The only real way you can die without utility being expended against you as a Monty is from upstairs or downstairs. These vertical holds can be deadly, so Bachelor unfortunately taking too much damage.
Again, the round looked good for generic, but it's been turned back into that one's favor. Looks like we are going to have Defty here opening up the garage with those thermite charges, and that will be a 6.
Well, Diffuser has been dropped outside. The thermite wall. Oh, Bachelor is getting baited by Sino. Yep, he is. He's gonna finish off finally. And oh, Edith with a 4K to end off. Wow, incredible stuff. What a flick, Sky.
Wow, this is one Capcom player I do not want to find in my ranked or casual.
Yeah, you just hope he doesn't come to, you know, Southeast Asia, Southeast Australian servers and try shredding things, because God forbid the guy comes to with ping and starts playing Capcom, because he is excellent on that. Operator played it to perfection, and the worst part is, Generic let him. You know, they knew where he was. They could have closed on him so quickly, just pushed him in a pinch, but that did not come out, even after he took down 2 players.
Indeed. Potentially the final round here for both of these teams. Dad1 looking to close it out, and Generic, well, they're looking to stay up a little bit longer.
Oh,
Down goes the Jaeger 80.
It's a first floor defense, so it's possible that they might be able to keep themselves in the game for a round more.
It's possible, but again, I think it was Dev and Cthulhu, no, Dev and Flea on the desk today, Bray and Zed, and I think Flea made a comment that this site's a bit of a cheese, and Dev rebutted him rightfully, saying, you know, this site is becoming less and less of a cheese every day. It is starting to be taken as a far more serious site, and you know, a lot of teams have proven that they can defend this site very effectively.
Honestly, I do agree, but Southeast Asia not really been that quick on the uptake. In my opinion, I would defend the first floor any day if I have a good squad. You know, I'm only a ranked player, obviously, but if I was a pro team that's good enough, I would definitely be decently comfortable. Consulate always been my favorite map because of these 3 bomb sites. The fourth one was only recently added. You always had these 3 super viable bomb sites, in my opinion, and I've always liked it. But Southeast Asia kind of slow on the uptake. One more comment before, you know, we continue on. Look at the lineup that you have on attack. You have 6 smokes, 2 smoke boats, and 4 smoke grenades. Curiously, the Monty with 2 of those smokes, always going upstairs, but whoa, brilliantly done. One ash charge to open the wall and then take down Sino, who's just caught unaware. That's a smoke off the board. Right now, they only really have to take down the Maestro, and that is plant denial gone. Just bring in the smokes, bring in the Monty, get the glass coverage, and you pretty much win.
Yeah, indeed, and these smokes, the aim of the game is to feed that glass. You want to be really using those smokes effectively, and to do that, again, Glaz is going to be the operator that you want to be assisting. Sunset here and L3K, so we've got 2 ACOGs in play here for the defenders. And, yeah, we'll go again. It seems to be a pretty chill defense here. Bachelor again, you noted before, maybe not one of those main shield players. King will take down Henry. Not looking great here for Dad1.
Don't do that, King. He's reminding me of Corey, and if you have been watching Mock It, Corey, all he does is CC and just wins the gunfights because of crowd spam. Obviously not his fault that he's using a mechanic in the game, but one more kill going in way of the attackers. Finally a trade back from Edith. Second one, it's a 2v3. Now Bachelor has to put a stop to this. No, it's going to be PT King. And what? Bachelor gets knifed by the Maestro, and that's the operator you don't want staying alive. He has an LMG, he has an ACOG, he has evil eyes. You don't want him staying alive. Oh, is he hitting the... What is he hitting? I'm not sure if he only hit the bodies, but he needs to be careful. And that's the ash off the board. It's a 1v1. Oh!
Wow, that was again far too close for comfort. But Huffy, watching that window like an eagle, is not going to let anything slip out of that. And on to round 11 we go here. 2 more opportunities here for Dad1 before, unfortunately for Dad1, we'll have to call it a draw.
Yeah. So just a reminder for all our new watchers or those who don't really watch APAC that often, how it works in APAC is, you know how in NAEU LATAM you have 2 best of 1s, each team plays the every team twice, once before the break, once after the break, each a best of 1 game. In APAC, you simply condense the two and you play them back to back. So we had the first map that was Border. Now we have the second map, Consulate. So usually in other regions it's one before the break, one after. Now APAC is just back to back. So it's still, the points still apply. 3 points for a win, 1 point for a draw, 0 for a loss, and it's by map basis. So that 1-0 that you see on top of the screen means that one has already taken 3 points from today, no matter what happens on this Consulate. They'll be hoping to get the 6, but that Generic, the best they can hope for now is 1 point, and that's gonna leave one with 4.
Yeah, exactly. And look, I think in this situation, look, you've got to salvage what you can here for Generic. They've got to be happy with 1 point. Otherwise, they're going to get none. They're going to unfortunately have to take down none. They're going to have to go back to the drawing board and then think about how they approach this game and hope for better results next week. But the reality is, what's done is done, and they can't change that. So they're really just going to have to hope for 1 point here. Maybe not the most appetizing take home, but they're going to have to deal with it. Oh, the hip fire here, and down goes PDD Henry. Beautiful stuff here from Bachelor on the Monty.
Never ever turn your back to a Monty, no matter how much damage you're taking. Just keep your gun trained on him. Even if you die like 7 times out of 10, 3 times out of 10, you're going to be able to clap back onto him if he ADSs. And when to turn tail and run, that's it, you're gone, unless you somehow manage to duck out of view, which is, it's tough, very tough to do. Maybe you'll get that, maybe it's a 9 out of 10 failure rate at trying to turn tail and run. So just keep your gun trained on him. It's very counterintuitive, I know, but you have to do it. Oh, the leg being spotted out of Sino. Defty's gonna take him down, and it's looking like Generic are on course for 1 point.
Looking that way, isn't it, Infian? In comes the Monty. It's Edith, Sunset, and L3K to try and close it out here before things get very scary. The second Monty kill of this round. Peter King takes down Edith. It's all up to L3K. We've seen him in a very similar situation before. Can he do it?
Oh, he's starting. He's starting. He's got 2. The ADS from the Monty, just greedy. But the diffuser plant goes down. Now he is in a crossfire. This time, Generic shouldn't lose this. They have a crossfire set up, and they have 1 member ready to trade that player on yellow. Very important to get this crossfire that they didn't have on Border just now in the final round of Border. What's gonna happen? Oh, there we go, Jibausi. Great shot onto L3, and that is 6-5. We are going the full distance, ladies and gentlemen.
Indeed, we are. Final round here, round number 12. This is going to be the final chance for Dad1 to claim those 3 points, and if not, they're going to have to go home with just 1 for this map. Luckily for them, they did win the previous map, so it's not a horrible turnout for them, but look, they could be better, and that's what they're fighting for right now. Ying being played here by Bachelor, it was on Monty. So, you know, Ying, we talked about how Southeast Asian teams really don't like to play against it here, so I think what he's trying to do here is bait them out. You know, they'll see the Ying and he's hoping to bait a 6-pick to deal with the Ying, when in reality there is no Ying in play at all.
Yeah, so it is definitely going to strike a bit of fear, and it's really good that you're doing it on 6-5 at the point when Dad1 is going to be doubting themselves the greatest. Look at that, 14-10-10 on Dad1's side, and they're still about to draw this match. Huffy and PT King and even Bachelor 11-9-7. So kills not really as top heavy for Generic, but they are pretty much right in it with Dad1.
You've got to imagine here that both of these teams, they're fighting for their own reasons. Generic are fighting to make sure that they don't go home empty-handed, and Dad1 are fighting to you know, get, you know, win it all, win the jackpot if you will, get every possible point they could get for this week.
That was a very bad cam. But the thing is, sometimes these moronic bad cams that you see work out so well, and I always like to say, if it's stupid and it works, it's not stupid. So I think it's stupid, but if it's gonna win them, by all means, L3, go ahead, do what you want. If it works, it works. Nothing really you can say.
Going into this round, the momentum has to be with Generic here, so I've got to give it to them. They have the advantage here. We haven't seen round win for Dad1 in a little bit here, and like, you know, and especially the rounds that Generic have won in the past few at least, they've been quite dominant. Edith here on this vigil, but no, he's gonna get spotted out by the Monty. That has to be. Can you? I can feel his feelings right now.
Yeah.
Just waiting that, and then Monty comes around the corner. The worst possible operator in that situation.
Yeah, you're like, yeah, I can hide from drones. I can hide from. Oh no, that's a face drone, like really a live drone, pretty much. Oh, but look at that, Sino somehow can't get the kill onto Gibalti. They trade pretty much evenly, but Edith gets taken down. That visual off the board, just hunted by the GIGN attacking duo, and now Bachelor is gonna get the kill. So this GIGN duo doing so much work, and you have the Legion off the board, you have the visual off the board, and you have Bachelor on low health. So it's risky right now. There is a C4 that's been wasted. Not really wasted, actually. I wouldn't say wasted, because what? How did L3 get that kill? That C4, yeah, it took down the X-Kairos. He was trying to take down the Monty, but L3's on fire. Sunset collects Huffy as well, and suddenly the game has been turned on its head. What was looking like a very strong round for Generic to tie it up has gone pear-shaped. L3 is just too good.
It's been torn away from beneath them. It's all up to PT King here in a 1v3. He's got 30 seconds to pull it off. There is absolutely no chance that he has got this in the bag. That is just got to be heartbreaking for Generic. And he gets taken down by L3K. The pin in the coffin.
Oh,
insult to injury, and that'll be Dad1 taking away the whole 6 points here for the SCA Pro League payday number 4.
That was so sad. Generic were on the charge. They were looking so good on that round itself. But the thing is, they were relying so hard on their Monty, and when the Monty fell, and I'm still not sure how, whether just L3 just got a lucky angle. Look at that, 12 kills from Huffy, but 14, 10, 10, 11. Oh my god, Dad1. Incredible.
Too close for comfort, however. It got scary there in the end for Dad1, but Generic, unfortunate for them that they could not come away with that 1 point just to make them feel that little bit better. Let's be real, probably wouldn't have made them feel that much better, but look, it's something. It's
Yeah.
you know, it's something to take home, but unfortunately,
Participation trophy, you know, it's still better than that.
exactly. But yeah, that's not going to be the case here.
Yeah, really unfortunate. Generic Esports, though, after that really, frankly, terrible map 1 on board, as you can see, 7-2 they lost. They were looking on course to make it 7-5. Unfortunately, in a defender-sided meta, they lost that first half 4-2, and it's hard to recover from that kind of deficit, especially when you're facing a team that can go 14, 10, 10, 11. Like, come on.
Yeah, it's incredibly difficult here. Yeah, it's unfortunate, and what a booming start for Dad1 here. And considering they did have to forfeit last week, didn't they? And
yeah,
to come back with such a resurgence, and just it's incredible to see them take away that 6 points. And look, they're going to be feeling very, very happy about that.
Yeah, and you said it really. They lost 6 points, and they would have been smarting about those 6 points. They would have been kicking themselves, whatever the reason. I think it was a tech issue. Can't quite remember. But they would have been really, really annoyed if they had let 2 further points slip from their grasp. Today, they did not. It was 7-5 on Consulate after 7-2 on Border. just all around a great showing. Really strong from Team Dat1. So that concludes day number 4 of the Southeast Asian Pro League. We will be back again tomorrow and on Friday. This is kind of a super week going on for APAC. So be sure to tune in at 7 p.m. Try to tune in as soon as you can, you know. We always love your support. Thank you everyone who has been so nice in chat to both Sky and myself. Sorry about the delays earlier today. A bit of tech issues and we started quite late. But we're still ending on time. I really enjoyed today's casting, Sky. What about you?
Yeah, look, I only jumped in it for the last 2 maps, but look, I haven't casted in quite a while, so it was certainly an enjoyable experience, and certainly it was great casting with you, Infian. It was a good time. It was worth.
Yeah, that was really great. I had a great time. You were some great matches, and you guys have been a great audience. Thank you for tuning in. That is all for today, but be sure to tune in tomorrow. We'll be right back with you with more Southeast Asian Pro League. I've been in New York. With me was Sky, and in the first matchup was JP and Monkey Fist. Thank you everyone for joining us.
See you guys.